It's
the Cabbage Face Bricks live stream.
Oh, I'm blurry.
Always get flattened by the phone.
Every time I get
You should learn to dodge that. Hello. Good evening, everyone. And we're here for number 12. So technically it's been a year, if that's maths is right. 12 months
Jeez,
a year.
How?
So,
Wow.
if my maths is right, that's a whole year of listening to us talk about Kobe.
Yay!
We're joined by
You're
the
welcome.
normal crew of Stu, Bricksworth, Darren, Solo Brick Builder, Martin,
Hello.
Boom Bricks, and we have Zoe from Bricktanks. How you doing?
Hi.
There we go. Right, so we're going to do our normal thing, but we're going to have a little look at some sets that are... Actually, I'm going to ask you how you all are first. It's very, very unpolite of me. How are we all?
Mr. Big Shot with his monetization now.
He's forgotten about. We're nothing now. We're nothing.
And then you run as well, they're all looking smart.
Let's keep saying no one likes the host. How has your month been? Have we all been good?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's gone
All
quick.
good.
It's been busy.
It always goes so quick, doesn't it?
Does it? Feels like for me
It's,
this week it's just dragged.
You've not been in Wales again, have you?
No, worse. Manchester, been the north. People speak funny up there.
Well, Stu lives up there, so
I know. Hence my point.
and you actually someone's called you Solo the Northern Brick Builder. What's that about?
The northern brick. The new one. No, oh yeah, because apparently anyone north of Watford apparently is a northerner now. So
Oh, is that the law? Is it?
apparently, yeah, according to that, yeah, according to Baxter, yeah. Right,
That's
so,
not. But that's quite south, to be fair, Watford.
it's very south, yeah.
Yeah, it's very south. Yeah. I can see Martin's got the what set's that? Is that the Memphis Belle?
I still haven't built it. I forgot I had it, and I was like, I'm going to stick it in the background.
Stick it there. That's
Stick it in the background.
There.
And it
Leave
still
it there.
won't get built. It still won't get built.
It's a great set, but it's like where on earth do you display it? Because I've got mine on the table next to me, and I don't know what
They
to
are
do with it.
massive.
Yeah, it's huge. I think I might have to dismantle mine, sadly.
Mine
Mine's
is
just
slowly
at the
different.
moment for the same reason.
Yeah, it's just I don't know where, unless you're going to hang it from the ceiling somehow, but that kind
That's
of freaks.
exactly what I was going to say. Bit of a nightmare if it falls, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of. I've seen people do it though, but it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah, but Kobe stays together so well. Even a fall onto the floor doesn't do anything.
yeah, I was more worried about my floor.
More worried about the floor.
Oh, your head. What about that on the live stream?
I can imagine that sat here and all of a sudden it just hits me on the head. Yeah, I've seen people stick them to the wall and stuff, but they've just used those command strips, you know, those command
Don't
Velcro
don't
strips.
do that. Don't do
And I'm
that.
like,
Don't do that. Yeah.
How does that take the weight and stuff?
I thought I'd try along here. I thought I'd put like a load of tanks going up the side here, and I still got a whole packet of them here, and I stuck it to the wall, and it just fell down, and many pieces of the turret just went everywhere. So don't use these ones.
Oh, there we go. I'm not doing that then.
Yeah, don't do
I'm
that.
not doing that. Someone said, is it north of the Thames? It's classed as north, which is even further south, is it not?
Yeah, well, the Thames goes all the way up. The Thames goes all the way up to the Midlands almost. So depends which way you want to go on that one.
Bazza in the house. Cool. Right. So there's a few people in the chat. Let's have a look at these sets coming in April. Let's do this. Right. So the first one is the little Battle of Arras set, which is this is nice that we mentioned these last week in the catalogue. We'll go through it again because these are all coming out next month. What do you think of this one then? Do we like this one?
Nice to get a smaller Matilda. It's easy to display.
Yeah, these
It's a
are
good.
1 to 35 again, aren't they? So
Yeah. I must admit, I do like the broken building though. I think that's going to be a nice little touch.
yeah, it's their first diorama, isn't it? So
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
Random
good
choices.
value, I thought.
Yeah.
How
Like,
much
I
is this
thought,
one?
well,
Sorry,
that's
sorry.
actually quite cheap,
Is it 69?
considering
Isn't
there's
it?
2 tanks and a diorama involved.
Yeah, and I think it's 69.99, isn't it,
Yeah,
for 1,000 pieces, which is pretty good.
Not
yeah.
bad going, isn't it?
I mean, the Panzer 38 is quite a small tank, isn't it?
Mm.
But
True.
for the money, I mean, you could buy a few of these and mock a kind of house together. Which is like, yeah.
I think it's quite nice. It's nice that they're branching into doing these little buildings.
Yeah,
Like I say, you can make a nice little display because not everyone's great at mocking. It's not easy, and yeah, it's quite nice.
yeah. I mean, I've not seen loads of big Kobe mocks, to be fair. So it'd be something quite nice to see someone do, like a village or a town, So these have got some roof tiles and stuff. So you've got that starting point. You may have to buy a few of them.
Quite a few.
It's quite nice. So I'm interested to see how this one kind of sells. I think it would do all right.
I'm hoping this is something that Kobe's going to start doing more of. To be fair, I think I'm hoping for that.
I would have hoped so. I would have thought so. I mean, with the train and everything coming in 1 to 35, you had thought so, wouldn't you? Then we've got the little kind of Panzer by the side there, so I'm getting distracted by chat, so I'm getting a bit of grief about being the second.
Yeah.
My wife is the best. That's what he's alluding to. There's the Matilda on the side. So I like the look of the Matilda. It's a cool tank, to be fair. So that's obviously the tank museum part of it, I'm assuming. And then that must be the Panzer Museum. Do we think?
I think it's got to be, isn't it? Because I think they're actually planning on getting that Matilda running this year, aren't they?
Oh, wow. That'd be
So
amazing.
I think they're aiming that for Tank Fest, I believe, to try and show it off. But
It'll take about an hour to get around.
just a bit, yeah. It's not the quickest, but
They're very slow, aren't they?
yeah.
But it's a bit of a mismatch of a fight, that, to be fair. But it did obviously happen in the battle, so but it's a bit of a mismatch.
It was a very one-sided fight, as it should be.
Then we go on to April 12th. We got the Hercules. Hey, Hercules. So I don't know if I'll get this one, to be honest. I don't know about you guys. If it's the same size as the Memphis Belle, which I'm assuming it's going to be similar, I wouldn't know where to put it.
The only thing is, that is a huge piece on the top there, though, isn't it? That is a massive piece there, top and bottom, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I'm
basically
assuming
building
they're
up the
molded.
rear piece and the wings, and then you just basically click those two bits together to sandwich it all together, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so.
If they've done the AC 130, then I'm having it.
That is
Yeah,
good.
they could do, I suppose. It's just the adaptation of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just with some guns poking out.
Yeah, stick some of your Memphis guns on the side of it and make it.
I can't. Mine all falling off. I think my daughter might have swallowed half of them. I don't know what happened to some of them.
Always good. Yeah, so I don't know about you guys. I mean, it's not one for me, but it's an awesome looking kit. I kind of wish they had glass in the cockpit windows. I don't know if they could ever do that.
Well, done what they've done with the Memphis Belle is just have a hollow cockpit so you can put your figures in there.
Yeah.
Just,
I don't know if this one comes in minifigs. I think the executive does. But
yeah.
I think the scale would be off with the minifigs as well, because if you look at the size of the windows, you wouldn't be able to get a minifigure in there. It would look ridiculous.
Unless they do one of their half ones like they did on the Apache and stuff. That's just a head.
That looks even worse.
Yeah, it's a bit kind of creepy. And then we got next talking about kitchens. So we got a field kitchen. Look at that. If I was to sell this, I probably couldn't. There we go.
Is that you, that minifig?
It's got a horse. The horse, I've never seen a Kobe horse before, so it's my first. see it. It's the first time I've seen one. I mean, there obviously are Kobi horses before this one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's a few with some of the World War One sets, which is why I was a bit confused that they had a horse, because this is a World War Two set, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still used horses in the Africa, a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, and probably in Europe. To be fair, I think the Russians did probably.
The Russians very much did, yeah.
But for this kind of thing, they probably did in the desert, because it probably wouldn't have got stuck in the sand and stuff with all the. But yeah, if you're going to build a little diorama, then you need a little kitchen, didn't you? I suppose.
I mean, famously, the French used the horses quite a lot along the Maginot Line because they didn't have many kitchens there, so they didn't even have radios there, so it was all done by horse and going back and forward.
There you go, bit of history.
That's probably what they're representing. I don't know. Doesn't really explain it, but yeah, it could be that. He does look rather French with that waffle massage. I'm not going to be insulting French today.
Well, yeah, I thought that, but then I don't know. I thought the HF14 was a German thing, but
that sounds very German, doesn't it? Yeah,
it's probably some. I don't know. He does look very French, though.
He does.
He's got a very nice tash.
I am baking my baguette in the back here. Sorry, I'm not.
It's a bit stereotypical.
They never stereotype the French, especially I love them.
And then next up, we have a little howitzer thingy-majiggy, little cannon howitzer, whatever you want to call it, with a very strange-looking minifig. He looks a bit kind of. Don't know. He looks a bit. I don't think I'd put him in. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in charge of that cannon. It's a little bit crazy. But yeah, this is another one. It's a 130 pieces. A pretty same as the kitchen. So this is going to be. I think is this 19.99 or 29? I think it's 20 quid. But yes, it's okay. They're not too bad. The little cannons. Again, if you're doing a diorama, a battlefield, you want some artillery, don't you, and howitzers and stuff. So nice little set. Another FOCKE-WULF. We're really careful how you say that one.
Well, you've got to be now, haven't you?
Oh yeah, you definitely have to. I'll probably get you another just for saying that. Another one. This is probably about the 6th or 7th one they've done. I think I've been told before. So there's a lot of FOCKE-WULFs they've done.
Just call it the FK Wolf. Just call it the FK Wolf.
Okay, the FK Wolf. I quite like the shape of it, but then I preferred the one before this. I think that was green, the one before this. I'm not too sure.
I think they got the wingtips a little bit better on this one, though, like the angling of them, because they weren't quite straight. They did kind of verge up, and I think they've done it a bit better this time.
Yeah.
And a better nose cone on it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say the nose cone's always been a bit of a bugbear for a lot of people, and that's looking more in the right direction, I'd say.
Yeah.
Some of them fall off a lot as well, which is frustrating. They don't seem to have as not on all of them, but there was. I can't think of the one I've got where it falls off every time I touch it, which is irritating. I might glue it. I didn't say that. Next up, we have the train, the DRBR52. So this is we covered this last week. I'm assuming it comes with the tracks. So I think there's 4 or 5 tracks there. I don't know if it does or not. There's been no real information on that, but I'm assuming if it's in the picture, it comes with them. And which is it's a nice looking train. So this is their first proper train. The other one was kind of a display train, wasn't it? But this is their proper working train.
So looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
I really am. But I want both parts on it. I don't just want just the main train part. I think you got
and the tender and all that.
Yeah, the tender and the main train. I just I like the idea. Obviously, it's making it cheaper. Yeah, just having the train and not the tender, but it doesn't look right. It's like
how do you guys at Bricktanks think this will do sale wise?
It's an interesting one because I don't know if you remember, I think it was last year, we briefly had a different train, and it was made by a Norwegian museum, I think. And we thought we were going to be able to get them, and then it wasn't going to be that we could order them with our normal stuff from Kobi, so we didn't manage to get them in the end. But that piqued quite a lot of interest, the trouble is, I think, with our customers, they really like tanks and planes. So I think it will be a slow one, or it will bring in a new type of builder, because, you know, trains are quite different. But it'll be really interesting to see how it takes off, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to building it to see how difficult all those pipes and things are to do, because my
That's gonna
experience
be
of
fun.
they're
Looks
finger
good.
killers normally.
Oh yeah.
It looks fantastic. I mean, I don't know about Martin and Stu normally kind of do your Lego stuff and obviously a bit of Kobe. Do you think you'll delve and get a train, or are you going to stay away from that rabbit hole?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Anyone?
I'm going to see what.
Oh, right.
I'll see what you do, and if they're any good.
Oh, I'm definitely going to get one. I have to. It's part of my DNA. I need it.
I'm going to find it really tough to answer questions because I've got a freaking washing machine on right next to me and it's making loads of noise. That's why I keep going silent. Yes, I want one.
Well, we can pretty much say what we want about Stu today because he can't answer. So
We're all
I can still do it for a few seconds.
we'll keep the professionalism up there. You should have got a direct drive washing machine. It'd been quieter. Anyway, that's kitchen stuff. Let's carry on. Then we got a this one. I'm not even going to try and say that name. I mean,
it's almost just like that. Just like someone just hit a face on the keyboard and gone, "Yeah, that's a word."
Kriegslokomotive.
I reckon a cat walked over it, didn't it? That'll do.
I mean, what's that? The first one's correct. Like Stu said,
It's like Craig's locomotive.
It does a bit.
It's the Craigs.
What's the second word though? Baureihe.
We've all practiced this word before.
Maybe you couldn't spell cheese right. Brie.
It's essentially the same train as before, just grey, and there's a bit
no
missing
wings.
from the front.
Yeah, I guess it's more like the civilian one, but I don't know why grey. I don't understand that.
It's from Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
I think the original was a bit darker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I think
yeah,
so.
Very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know what it is, but I don't like the look of this because of the grey. It looks like it's. I don't know. It looks like one of those when people do those monochrome things, you know.
Or an airfix when you haven't quite done your painting.
Yeah,
Maybe,
it's just the base coat.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's because it's in black and white, like on the old films.
could be. But I prefer the one before. So
Yeah, you got that proper cover.
Robert says that word we can't say is best translated with class. So that must be
Craig's train
class.
class, isn't it?
So
Craig's train class.
you have a train. Next up, we have the little Kawasaki or the Tony. It's quite a cool little plane. This one. I think
That
this will be
looks
quite
much
popular.
better than the original one.
A lot better. Isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot better. Yeah, and I think this will be quite popular. I wonder if they do the other. Was it the bomber plane? Was that called Susie or something? I may have made that up. Was it Susan? Is that right? Solo?
Or
There was-
Helen.
Helen, was it? There was a bomber.
It was a
with
Helen.
Helen.
I need. Yeah, I think it was definitely the lady's name. Maybe not Susan.
Hey, I'm being chosen to choose Susan.
I'm sure that someone will tell me in the chat that I've got that completely wrong in a minute. But
I should know
Yeah.
this, to be honest. Yeah, oh my god.
there is definitely a bomber that's called a lady's. Got a lady's name. I'm sure there is. But I like the look of this, and this will have a Japanese pilot as well. So some more stuff
that'd
for
be
your that. They need to do some more tanks for me, Japanese tanks, but.
Well, there's only really two you can really pick from.
Yeah,
Not
I
many.
haven't done them for a long, long time though.
No, they haven't done a long time. I'm still waiting for the Italian tankettes. I'm still waiting for that. I'm holding my dreams on for that one.
We're probably getting before a Lancaster. Sorry, Stu.
Oh yeah, 12 streams. I've not said it yet. We want a Lancaster.
There we go. It was called Sally. Thank you,
Sally.
Thank you, Bazza. It was called Sally. Susan's not far off. The interesting thing about the Lancaster, I don't want to get Stu excited, but on the stream on Monday, don't know if you were there, Solo. He showed a new Great Britain flag type thing.
Yeah.
and I don't know what it's from or for.
No, it's
I'm
interesting.
not
It's quite a
sure.
big flag. It is a big flag.
It is a
So I
very
don't
big
know.
flag. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it can't be for a Lancaster. I mean, you would have thought they would have showed an RAF logo, wouldn't you? But
Yeah, unless it's good. No one knows what it's for yet. So
no, it'll be interesting.
Just give me a picture of Stu's head underneath.
you'll be able to get. Yes. I love it if they put him in there as a minifig.
Yes.
Bang on about it for long enough.
Well, Arthur knows how much I want one now, so there you go. Sorted.
It's pretty much all we talk about on the stream, isn't it? A Lancaster stream.
Where's my Lancaster?
I'll tell you one thing I did learn though. I didn't realise a Lancaster was almost like a third of the size bigger than a B-17 bomber. I did not know that. So,
Really?
Because when we were down at the Royal Air Museum, I was like, bloody hell, Lancaster's massive compared to a B-17. It's huge.
They're pretty chunky, aren't they?
They're chunky and long and wide.
Chunky
and
boys.
yeah, they're probably chunky boys. Yeah, I was like, I always thought like the B-70 Flying Fortress. I knew that was a big plane, but my God, it looks tiny. It's like, wow. Okay.
Well, yeah, you could hold more crew inside a B-17.
Yeah, you can hold more crew, but the Lancaster can carry a lot bigger yield of bombs.
Bigger payload, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember when we had Armed Forces Day here, and they had a flyover of the Battlebird, and obviously the Lancaster come over, and you could hear it before you could even see it. And I just thought to myself, imagine like 15 of those flying. It must have been like terrifying.
The noise must have been.
I've got my first little super chat thing, so thank you very much, Craig. I don't have a video for it. I'll just have to say thanks.
Congratulations, you get 20p out of that. Nice one.
I appreciate it. I don't want. Do I need to do those video things? Maybe I'll do one with me in it. I'll do me running around in the house or something like that. But thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. It's very, very much appreciated. Next up, I know Bricktanks aren't going to have this, but I'll just show you that we have got this Opel Manta, coming out. Very obscure car, isn't it?
I want
I
that.
like their obscure cars, don't they? They love to do an obscure car.
Yeah, I don't think I remember seeing this car ever. Maybe would it have been a Vauxhall over here?
It would have been a Vauxhall,
yeah. I remember the Vauxhall Manners, but there's just the Mark II after that.
Yeah.
I was born in '83, so
headlights. I quite like.
You're gonna get it, Martin.
I might do, yeah, but I can't get it through Bricktanks.
We have got other versions. The only reason we're not getting it is because we've got other versions. One of our customers said, "Oh, I really want to get this," so we bought some in, and then literally we just sold one of them. So I'm like, I'm not going to get any more at this stage.
That one.
They all look quite similar, in my opinion. I don't know the subject.
The fondest memory I had of that is my granddad outside beating the living hell out of it with trying to beat the sledge, beating the starter motor with a hammer. That's the only memory of a Manta, and then he scrapped it the next day. That's all I remember of it.
Bought a Citroen.
I should have bought a Citroen. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he done something worse. He bought a Peugeot 505, so I was destined to be tortured by cars. Oh god, yeah, and then a Ford Galaxy after that. God. Anyway,
Downhill, isn't it?
it is.
So next up, we've got a couple of. I think I'm quite excited for these.
I am dead excited. Not so much this one. Though.
This is the normal version, but I think this is the one we all are very excited for.
How many of them will you buy though? You got to buy the full squadron?
How many is that? 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 7. Yeah.
I'll buy 6, and one's on holiday. No, I don't think I'll buy all 7. I'll just buy the one. I think I'll be sensible. But it's a good price. This one, if I remember correctly, it's do you know how much this one is over the top of your head, or should I look it up?
No, I can't remember what that one is actually.
I think it's about £40, isn't it? Looking at the brick count, it'd be roughly, wouldn't it?
I think it's about 40 quid.
But I'm kind of excited to get this. I think it's going to be a cool display piece.
Absolutely.
And it's a pretty iconic plane, to be fair.
Hey, you never know. They might be building up for something. You know, now we've got a Red Arrow. We've had the new Spitfire and a Hurricane. Maybe they're building up for something now.
Yeah, new Mosquito.
Yeah.
Multi-pack.
Multi-pack. Do you think you're going to get this one, Stu? Is this one you're going to get?
Yeah. You can get that one.
And you mind? Do you think you'll grab
Yeah, I love red arrows.
I think this one will sell well, even for the non-Kobe fans. To be fair, I don't know how many you'll. Do you get do you have to order a certain amount of these, Zoe?
No, it depends what else we're ordering at the time. So we just have a minimum order amount, and then we do our pre-orders, which gives us an idea of how popular things are going to be, and then we just order twice as much as we've got in pre-orders generally.
Yeah.
And sometimes, people suddenly order them at the last second and we sell out really quickly. So which is why we do the pre-orders, to get an idea, but can't always get it right.
So how do the pre-orders work out for you guys? I'll quickly turn this off because we'll get into that's the last set basically. How do the pre-orders go? Because I know you did a recent kind of email survey type thing asking people about it, and I know that one of the things people said about pre-orders, how successful are they?
Yeah, they're pretty good actually. I think a lot of people see the thing and want to get it, and if they've got the cash, then they'll just pre-order it then and there, and then they don't have to think about it because we get it in stock and ship it straight out to them. Other people are probably budgeting more and don't want to spend too much. I mean, it does surprise me how many people are willing to pay full price for a pre-order like 3 or 4 months before it even comes out, and then if it's delayed or whatever, we let them know and say, it's not going to be coming out quite as early as we thought, and then do they want to cancel? No, we'll wait. So yeah, it's a pretty good way to help people get them in advance, and we don't know how many to order unless we do that. We just have to sort of guess otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we kind of, other companies don't do that, and it's a great thing. So you don't make sure you don't sell out straight away.
I think the great thing is as well with the pre-order, like you say, like once people buy it, they sort of forget that they've paid that money. Because I did it with the Ghost of Keith. I totally forgot. I bought it from you guys. Totally forgot about it. It just turned up one day. I was like, oh yeah, I bought
that.
I always forget about my orders, and my missus goes, when did you order that? I have no idea.
No, I can't remember when I ordered it. I ordered it sometime and it turned up.
And it's not like you guys even got quick pay. I'll have to go through several pages and like, yep, forgot about that. Come up. Oh, that's a nice surprise. When the hell did I buy that?
So this is the type of people you deal with. People who forget they bought things.
We share our brain cells between us every week.
I know, we do get emails from people saying, oh wow, I forgot I ordered this. It was a great surprise. It was like Christmas.
We genuinely do that.
Yeah. I usually remember when I get the DPD thing saying you got a parcel, and I'm like, well, what for? And I look into it, I'm like, oh, that's what it's for. Oh dear. I think, yeah, I mean, personally, and also a good thing with Kobe is they do show their sets in advance, so it gives you guys a chance to kind of get them on your site, get the pre-orders ready for them, and you know roughly how much you can kind of work out what Kobe says based on others.
Oh yeah,
how much
you have to be
cost.
careful doing that though. We've been caught out guessing prices before, so we tend to wait until all of the information about the sets has been released and then put them live. It's gone both ways before. We've had to refund people because we were thinking it was going to be more expensive than it was.
Wow.
And we just let them know, oh, we've overcharged you. Here you go, have a bit back. And sometimes they get a really good deal because we've undercharged them. So we just generally wait until the prices are available now.
Do they do that every month then, give you a listing or whatever of the costs?
It changes every week in terms of what's available because sometimes they sell out of things. So we generally ask for an offer every week or two, depending on how often we're ordering.
Very true. The next thing was people were saying about, I think it was the delivery. So obviously you guys changed from DPD to Royal Mail recently, didn't you?
No, we use both.
Okay.
Yeah, so we use an external third-party warehouse. So they didn't have Royal Mail initially, and we asked them to get it because that's what we were using before, and it was pretty good. It's much cheaper than DPD for all corners of the UK. The problem with DPD is, and this is where a lot of the feedback came on the shipping costs, is if you, once upon a time, if you lived in like the Highlands or some island off of Scotland, if you sent something by DPD, it would be expensive. But, you know, that's fairly understandable. Now, there's certain parts of Scotland that aren't far-flung that DPD just charge, you know, $17.99 for. And of course, our customers are saying, why is this so expensive? And we've found out the hard way because DPD don't tell us when they put their prices up. We get an itemized bill at the end of each month, and we just have to pay it. So we've been caught out quite a few times with, you know, just a few places that Royal Mail have never charged us extra for. DPD are charging sort of 3 or 4 times the price.
I mean, have you ever seen my DPD driver? You'd be amazed he even got out the van, to be honest, yeah. I swear to God, he just kicks him out of his window. I wish I was exaggerating. He really just launches them at my door.
No, I can believe that. Well, this is why we tend to use Royal Mail for smaller parcels, and DPD for bigger, because they are a little bit rough sometimes. But then we've had the same with UPS. We used UPS at Christmas because we couldn't get any more coverage from DPD with the Royal Mail strikes. And yeah, you know, I had a UPS delivery from somewhere and it was completely crushed on arrival. And the guy just gave it to me and I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? But, you know,
yeah, I think around Christmas they do get a bit more, because they obviously have a lot of stuff to deliver, don't they?
Yeah.
And they just do turn into a bit like Ace Ventura at the start of that film where they punt it down the street and stuff.
I ordered a really nice cup for my missus from Disney store, really nice one, and my DP driver, no word of a lie, literally just pulled up alongside here and he just tossed it out. I watched it on the Ring camera. I was like, woof, out it went, came up, delivered, and opened it up, and there's no package in the world is going to save that.
It saves it knocking, doesn't it?
Knock with the parcel. I had a good one.
They just take a random photo and you're thinking, where is that?
Aaron sent me some stuff before Christmas, and the DPD driver turned round and he said, do you want me to send these back because they're a little bit wet? Because a dog's chased me round, got in the back of my van and peed all over my parcels. That was the best one I've heard.
I'll be quite honest with him.
I was like, no, it's a bit of wet on the bloody part. I've got a dog. I had a dog at the time myself. I was like, no, it pees up everything, so whatever.
Yeah, thanks for not sending those back. Oh, I thought it'd been you. You just peed on them and sent them back. Well, cheers. I've had it before where they chuck them in your bins and stuff, and I think I had it where they put it in your bin and it got emptied that day, and all sorts of stupid stuff like that. And you're like, really? But you know, here's what it is. But I suppose the raw postage at the moment is very expensive, and we all know that from our work. You know, it's quite a pricey thing, to be fair. And do you guys do free delivery at certain points, or?
Yeah, so we've recently had to move that up to, it was £30, so orders over £30 get free delivery. But as everything's gone up in price, we've recently had to revise that, and it's now £35. The problem is with things like Kobi's prices going up, you then get a situation where the profit margin just disappears on certain sets because of the postage costs. So, you know, we want to encourage people to buy more than one item at a time, ideally, even if it's just a small second item, just so that it's viable. Because I know a lot of places are just not stocking the smaller sets now because they want to do free shipping, which is great, but I've been looking at places thinking, how can they justify free shipping on something that cheap? And the bottom line is they can't really, so they're just going to stop stocking them. So we've decided we'd rather do a minimum spend to get free shipping so that we can justify stocking everything, which is what everyone seems to want. So,
yeah, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but if I'm say if for example the free shipping was £60 and I was at 55, I would chuck on a tenner set to get free delivery. I know it probably makes no sense because I'd pay an extra £5 for delivery, so I'm spending the same amount. But for some reason in my head, I think or I'm
Yeah.
getting something for free. You
No,
know?
you're spot on correct. There's no. I purchase where I work, so I avoid paying delivery costs at all. At all costs. I buy something else as well, just to stop paying delivery, because it's just dead money, really, if you can avoid it.
Yeah,
This
but
is
personally, I mean,
Pretty
touch
reasonable.
wood, I've had no issues yet from anything from you guys. So it's always been next day if I order before 2 p.m. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So it depends. It depends on the driver and what day he's having, doesn't it? You know.
Very true. I mean, generally, we have been very lucky. All of I think one of the first questions on the survey was, "Have you been put off ordering online?" Generally speaking, after all the Royal Mail strikes at Christmas, and I was quite surprised at the number of people that said no, they haven't. I think they just accepted that was the situation at Christmas, and we did everything we could to try and encourage people to order early. And even when people have been waiting weeks, in some cases, they get that if everyone suddenly phones you up and you're a small business and they say it should have arrived the next day, and you're like, well, we're having a bit of a crisis. We have warned you, and the whole country's experiencing the same. So I was really humbled by how many people were actually really understanding and just said that I'm going to build it whenever it gets here, and don't worry about it, sort of thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's not, from my experience, it's not put me off. I mean, I'm sure we're probably all in the same boat. It's not something that would put me off. I mean, you just get it a bit later, don't you? And if it was urgent, you should have probably done it a bit earlier.
I know I was a couple of days before Christmas. I still got my T34 tank before it. So. Yeah. I was the last one because I leave everything to the last minute.
I know, it's funny because literally some people were still ordering, after the guaranteed deadline.
Yeah.
And then they email us and say, wow, it arrived. And we're like, blimey, okay.
Yeah.
But, we can't guarantee that. We certainly didn't want to even suggest people tried it, but it did work for some people. So you just don't know, really.
The most ridiculous thing about that was I wanted to build it over Christmas and I still ain't bloody built it.
You didn't say which Christmas, though.
No, I didn't. I got a whole cupboard full of them there. It's all before Christmas. That stuff is there.
Another thing that was brought up was other manufacturers, which we're going to touch on now, because obviously you do Cobi. You've done some Cada stuff, or Cada. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. I've built a couple of their sets. I've built a remote-controlled Tiger tank, which was quite good fun, to be fair, and a little kind of solar system thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had the Osprey. That was good.
Oh, there you go. An Osprey. Martin, have you had any Cada stuff?
I don't think I have. No, I can't remember.
Stu, I don't think you.
I have not.
Because they all tend to. There's so many of them. You tend to forget which ones you've kind of done. But yeah, I mean, you've started stocking them now. So how is that kind of going with them? Are they becoming more popular, or?
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because when we did the survey last year, it seemed like lots of people were talking about various different Chinese brands, and we looked into quite a few, and we often have Chinese manufacturers contacting us saying, buy our stuff, sort of thing. But the issue we have is they often don't have boxes. They don't really have any kind of missing pieces service. So, that's a bit of a nightmare. And they're often clearly Lego knockoff sets. And we just wanted to kind of keep away from that sort of thing. And Cada came along, they contacted us, and we were just really impressed by the quality of their packaging. They've got some really interesting designers. They sort of feature their designers. It's not just some anonymous person that designs them. And they've got licenses for certain things, like the Humvee's got a license, and all the London series. I think it's I've got it here. The London Taxi is LEVC, which is an official license product.
Oh, right. I was going to ask you that, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I think I might know the reason for that.
We really like them.
I think I know the reason for the LED one, because it's half Chinese. It's half Chinese and half British-made company. So actually based in up north somewhere, LEDC is. But yeah, I think that's probably why that partnership might have come around. I don't know. I'm speculating, but yeah,
not sure. Yeah, I mean, general feedback has been really positive. There's pros and cons. Most people say is not as good as Kobi. You know, everyone's first love is Kobi. That's fine. And I would say in terms of the bricks, it's pretty similar. The designs are very good. They hold together pretty well in most cases. I'd say the sort of slight weakness is not everyone's happy with the instructions. So, you know, some of them are quite small. Some of the really big sets, you know, like the supercars and the Humvee are just, you know, we've had some of our most experienced builder customers saying, wow, it was an amazing end product, but boy, did it test me. You know, they had to go back, retrace their steps, something's not quite working. And, you know, their advice is always test the electronics as you go along, because obviously that's a component as well. I mean, I wouldn't know where to begin on that sort of stuff. It just is mind-blowing. You know, the inside of the sports cars are all black, and you've got these tiny little pieces. So you have to be a proper, determined builder to do this. You know, it's ridiculously technical, but, you know, they do say it's not that dissimilar to Lego Technics.
Yeah, I've done a couple. I've done a couple of. You've got the Land Rover here, and I've done the Lamborghini, and they were quite. I mean, the Land Rover, that gearbox and stuff was just a nightmare. There's a couple of times I thought I can't be bothered to build this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the yellow car here. Do you want to see this thing, this beast?
Let's put it on. Sorry, I'm gonna put you on the bigger screen. There we go.
See that?
Wowzers!
Nice.
It
Wow.
is
Beast.
amazing.
Nice. That really does look good.
It is a little bit disappointing when you put the remote control on, because it's very slow.
Oh, really? You want it to go fast?
If you drove it too fast and it hit a wall, you'd be really upset.
Oh, so that's a remote control as well. Wow.
Look at the box, though. This is what I like. Look at this box.
Oh, nice.
It's just really cool. You know, they've really put a lot of thought into
The packaging and stuff.
making it a decent thing.
It's very much like the Lego one, isn't it?
That's very much like the Technic sets. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's worth every penny. I mean, compared to Lego, it is, you know, very good value for money.
Yeah.
But it's not for the faint-hearted, as many people have said either. As you can probably tell by looking at it.
Yeah. Did you build that yourselves? Or
Yeah, we did.
I
say we. It was nothing to do with me. I am not an expert builder.
I think you've got a few of the newer sets there, haven't you? Because they've just come in today, I believe. Or yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah, let's have a little look what we got.
I'll stand back.
I'm gonna put you on solo again. Sorry.
Okay. So this is the taxi.
Nice.
Is that a remote control as well?
This is. It is remote control, but I don't think we got the remote control for it, because I felt it's more of a sort of display piece. It's got the red
Phone box.
telephone box with it as well, which is pretty cool. But I don't know, I felt like we could have got the remote control parts, but the trouble is some of them are included and some of them are separate, so we have to sort of make a decision. And I just felt for that one, it's going to be more of a display thing.
They're not that expensive to buy. Oh, sorry. They're not that expensive to buy secondary, their motors, to be fair.
Yes. And we do have extra parts if people really desperately want them. So, you know, we were just talking about that today, actually, setting up. We bought them as spares because we didn't know how good quality the remote control aspect would be. Turns out, actually, it's had really good feedback and we haven't needed to use any of the spare parts. So I said we might as well just sell them separately. So if people want to motorize their Kobi sets or something, then they can do that as well.
Yeah, well, people are going to try and get that train motorized, aren't they? So
Exactly.
I wouldn't know where to start with that, but
No, me neither.
I'll
This
probably
is-
end up. Oh, go on then. Sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say this is the one that has proved extremely popular on the pre-sale so far.
This is the underground station.
This is the underground, and as you
It
can
does.
see on the back, look at the detail on that.
It does look really nice, to be fair.
It is really, really good.
And that has lights in it, doesn't it? And a working ticket machine.
Yeah, and a toilet. I mean, it looks like it's got a food blender as well, like in a proper coffee shop. You know, they might make a smoothie or something. I don't know. My mind was a little bit blown at that. That's pretty impressive.
Well, that's called. Is it the underground station or something? I can't remember what it's called. That one.
Yeah, it's called. It says Piccadilly Circus Station, and it's just called London Underground. And then this is the London bus, which I think will be quite popular as well.
Oh, it's open top as well. That's quite nice.
Yeah, it's a party bus. It's
party
2 in 1.
The party bus. Yeah. I don't think it's a working toilet. No. I don't. Yeah, that'd be great.
I would
You've
show you the Buckingham Palace, but I literally cannot lift it. It's
No, I was
That
gonna,
looks so good. That looks so good.
I was going to say don't, because I'll find a picture of it instead. Whilst
Yeah.
just kind of.
But again, it looks amazing. Like the detail on it. We've had a couple of customers talking about, the end product. I mean, it's big, but if you like Buckingham Palace and the coronation and everything this year, I think it's going to be quite a popular one.
Have you has that been for sale already? That one.
Yeah, they're all on for pre-order at the moment.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Do you want a picture of it? You got it. How you got it?
A bad price either, is it, for that many pieces?
I mean, it
Yeah,
looks
so that's-
massive. It
Yeah,
looks
it's-
ginormous.
There's some better pictures of it actually, kind of broken up into sections. there.
240. It's not bad, is it? That's quite cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Bit of Buckingham Palace, as they call it.
Royal architecture.
That's going to be pretty decent size, isn't it? There's the box.
Yeah.
So that's actually got a designer, Tobias theme.
Yeah.
I know some of these designers have done stuff on Lego Ideas and that. So the guy that done the solar system set, he done the ski lift set that was on Lego Ideas. So yeah, there you go. Bit of interesting, pointless trivia for you there. But I mean, I'd love to have this, but so where do you display it? It's just huge, isn't it?
That's how big it is.
I don't know if there's any dimensions. If you go ask, it's too big. Oh, there you go. 83.2 centimeters.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Over.
What's it?
Oh, nice sideboard. It looked lovely.
That's right.
About the size of my actual house.
There you go. So that's a bit about Cada, because you guys are starting to kind of. I know they do the Humvee with the minigun, which I really kind of do want. To be fair, but
That
that's gonna be
Humvee looks
huge again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
No,
do much.
Didn't you win that AE86? That's Cada, isn't it?
I won that weird tofu
the
shop.
AE86.
Yeah, no idea what it is, but I won it. Yeah. The build of it wasn't too bad, to be fair. Stickers in that set. I don't know if there are in the newer ones. There were stickers in that one. But yeah, it wasn't too bad a build experience. It's similar to building most other block stuff. The quality, I'd say, isn't quite Cobi Lego, but of the bricks, but it's still near enough there. You're talking about minor details, really small. It's not like some of the stuff I've built where it feels like you could blow it out and it fall to bits.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
cool
we-
that you get
we
another
like-
brand.
And just because, initially we got interested in it because of their tanks and everything else. A lot of these Chinese companies, they sell us details. I'm like, we specialize in military. Why are you sending us like random weird things for little girls or whatever made of bricks? But they got some good tanks. Although having said that, we couldn't get hold of the Tiger one. I think did you say you've got the gunmetal grey one?
Yeah, the remote control one. Yeah.
So we were waiting to get that. We told it wasn't available till February, so we held off our order. Then in February they said it was March, but these things take so long, especially when you're ordering from China, and we're still waiting for our Cada order to ship out of China, even though we said, oh, can we add the Tigers to it because it's now March, and they said no, it's too late. Like, no. But we've got a lot of, what else have we got on it? We've got the T90, we've got the smaller green Tiger tank, which is quite fun for sort of an introductory build. It's not that detailed, to be fair. We've got the Humvee, the V12 hypercar, which was really popular, fully functional excavator, proving the construction stuff's actually proving quite popular, and tractor, farm tractor, they sold like hotcakes at Christmas. I was quite shocked. I think Kobi brought out a tractor many years ago, and we got some in, not a pip. And I'm like, we're based in the West Country, and we had a little shop at the time. No one was interested in an orange Kobi. But this one is motorized, and it is quite a decent looking machine. So I think.
Have you guys kind of been approached by any of the other? You obviously said you have been. I mean, there's one company I know we've all been approached by. Is that Funhole people?
We have not been approached by them. I'd be offended by this.
You're offended, don't be. But
I did watch that review you did. It was quite amusing, I have to say.
Yeah, but then they sent me another set to see if it was as I spent like 10 minutes like giving it a hard time, and then they said, oh, do you want to send another set? And that's it there.
Now.
Stu's got it, yeah.
He sent it to me.
I said to her, no, I don't want one. And she was like, no, you're having one. And they just sent it to me.
They are quite pushy. God, they can be quite pushy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to build it. It's not what I'm interested in. Like, it's cool looking, but it's not something I'm interested in. A floating castle kind of thing,
They cancelled mine, didn't they? Because I didn't get 1,500 views.
That's what they said.
Yeah, I was like, bye, Sandra.
Yeah.
Because there's a few other kind of ones out. There's a lot of companies now doing. So you've got Blue Bricks as well. They're getting quite big as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've been talking to them. They can't get into the UK at the moment because of the EU laws.
Oh, really?
And the shipping. So hopefully they're going to change that.
Because they do the Star Trek stuff, don't they?
Yeah, and there were some cool cars on there.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty much everything covered, to be fair. If you're happy, we've got towards our hour mark, so another stream done. But thanks for coming on, Zoe. I appreciate it. It's been good to have a chat with you.
No problem.
Get your guys' perspective, how things are going, and hopefully Kobi keep producing awesome sets. I'm sure they will, because they do great stuff, don't they?
They just up their game every year. It's a pleasure working with them in that respect, because they do put in so much work to improve everything, and they do listen to the feedback. And I look back at some of the earlier sets, and they're bigger, but they're less detailed, and they're really, making every set
show their age.
Yeah.
I think for me, the one thing that's definitely improving is the minifigures. If I look at some of the older ones, some of them are terrifying. Like, what on earth is that? And then some of the newer ones are like, they get the printing on them is getting very good. The faces don't look so kind of crazy. The white eye thing kind of freaks me out still a little bit.
Some people love them, and some people are like, no.
Yeah, it's what you're used to, isn't it? Minifigs, people associate a standard minifig. But I've grown to love them. I think they're great, and I like the printing on them's got so much better. But the recent ones I've done with the arm prints and stuff, they're really, really good printing, really good. So that's definitely something they've improved on their printing. Because they used to have stickers.
Hopefully a bit of leg printing soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never do know. But yeah, thanks guys. Thank you to Stu, Darren, Martin, and Zoe. Thanks to all the people in the chat for us to shout out for them. We had Craig, we had Mitty Bricks. I think we had Bazza out there, Scotty. I saw Bricketeer at the Brick Post. There's a few of them.
Bye.
Bye.
He picked himself when we go through. Oh, brilliant. Oh, we are so professional. Yeah, okay.
Ruin that bit, but I will. That was
Keep the composure.
fantastic.
Keep the composure.
I can't. It's completely ruined. I was going to say something else then. We'll do the outro, and then we'll see you in a month's time, guys. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And the best show is
Cobi, Cabbage, and Friends.